Hello everyone and Happy New Year! So in this video I will demonstrate how to create this kind of tire with mesh operations so it stays procedural. So let's check what is in here. I'll get the control locator here so we can change something. For example, the number of the clones here, the steps, it gets smaller, or the how much the pattern at width there. So like that. It's a bit slow because we have this text here and it's quite dense, so maybe if I turn it off we can get more responsive results. So let's make that kind of flat. Okay, and a bit wider, it's too much, I know. Yes. Let's get back to some nice settings so we can check how it actually works, and then we are going to recreate it. I have to say that I use quite a lot customization in my UE, so I try to remember to show how to make it, how to do things in the basic setup default mode, but first time, but then I will use the shortcuts I have. So for example, I have, let's take the whatever, for example this, I have this middle mouse click for adding channels and shift middle mouse for creating user channels. Those can be accessed from here, the add channel, add user channel, stuff like that. And then I have mini properties, made the customization and stuff like that. I'm planning to share that stuff in Gumroad, or I was looking in the coffee or stuff like that, but I will share them at some point. So let's check what these have eaten, how it works. So let's make it a bit more twist, maybe 150. So the first part is here, the base part. Here's also shortcut. I have H for hiding and showing items, and Control Alt 1 for isolating. It's this here. I think it's very good to have it in a pie menu or shortcut because it's quite useful to quickly isolate the item you are working with. So this is the first part of this tire, and this one is duplicated along this strip here, but before it's duplicate, it's deformed. So if we change that, this amount, for example 50, we can see how it deforms, and it's made duplicate like this, cloned in a long strip, and that strip is fed to here, this object, which bends it. And I think now we have some kind of problem there, but I'll fix it later. So let's try to recreate this from these scratch. So first we need the base part. So I'll just create a plane, add it here, and let's turn off the grid. So we are going to copy it in this direction. So I'll subdivide it a few times. I have also hotkey Shift 2 for wireframe, Shift 1 for vertices. So I delete the other side and then I set symmetry options to Z. Okay, but it should work. Now let's make a new plane. Okay, we have plane there. This is a kind of okay, so I was trying to, it was wrong axis. It's working the symmetry, but my viewport was in the wrong direction. So let's subdivide it again and then delete those and then make it a bit smaller, and let's move this with Control and Shift. You can extend X while using Move tool. So here we have our really basic start. It's that, so we can delete this and I'll rename it base part. Okay, and then we make new mesh item and stack and merge. You can do this from here at, I'll have to make this smaller because it goes out of the screen. You can add those also from here, but I have set some hotkeys for those because it's faster. And also usually, not usually, that some people work this operator list VF, but I just don't use it at all anymore because I find it much nicer to work in schematic. It kind of, you have a better view of the whole thing, how it works, and when the setup is large, it's kind of, you remember where the stuff is, and I find it faster to find items and other stuff from here, from the schematic view than looking for the item list. So now we have this. Let's make name for this clone stripe. Could be a good name. And then add a clone operator. Okay. The one annoying thing is that I wish there was some kind of auto alignment for this nose. You have to way too much fiddling around with those. But now we have the clone and this is 0 and we move it like in this direction, and how many times, for example 10. But as this is a procedural approach, we don't want to adjust that every time, so we could use mesh info node for getting the length of the mesh, and let's plug it this mesh here, and size is Z, and we take it to offset Z, and now we have it kind of working. So if we take this best part and scale it, it works. But if we do, for example, like this, it doesn't work. So we have to make some better approach for this, and we calculate distance between few vertices. So let's add some stuff. Let's add arrow distance. Yes, this one. Measure arrow distance. So we need arrow for that, and we get arrow with mesh data arrow. Okay, we can remove this for a while. We have use for that later. So what we do now is mesh here. This kind of arrays are set of data values and very useful in some cases. So now we have, let's make it like this. So we need a selection set for this to create the arrow we want, and we want positions arrow. So let's make that here first and create selection set for this. I have the selectioner kit myself and also hotkit. It's quite similar than the original, but like the default pop-up, but not it's a bit different. So we make new set. Let's name it offset. Okay, so we have two vertices which should create this arrow, but it doesn't create it yet because we have to set it here. Now we have these 2 points, and this outputs, I think this yes. Let's see, I added the node, it's this add comment, and you can read the value of channels like this. It's also a very useful trick. And we set this offset here. So now let's see what happens. Yes, now it turns like it should turn. But as we see, we can't do it like this because let's check it this mesh, because as we see it goes like they overlap and it's not symmetrical. We have to make two clone arrays, two clone strips, so that they have that offset between those. So instead of cloning it 10 times, we clone it only one time and then mirror it. That I delete yes to all. So we clone it one time and let's add a mirror. Here we have mirror generator, and I wonder why it doesn't mirror anything. Polygons. Do we have axis right? It does mirror? I just didn't look at the right way. We have to make selection here. Select select by previous operation. Okay, and our previous operation is, sometimes it doesn't load, is clone and cloned polygons. So now we have that one cloned there, but what we have to do now is we replace source, disable, and this is also a bit strange, not strange, but this have to be, this is by default vertex, and you have to change it polygon to get it work. But if you remove this selection and make it vertex, it then, yes, it works. When you don't have selection, it works whatever this selection type is, but if you have selection, you have to set it polygon. So now we have it cloned, but it doesn't work yet because we have to divide this by 2. Okay, now it's divided by 2, so we have now that nice overlap there. So now we have to add new clone operator, and I duplicate it. I think it's a duplicate, not a duplicate, duplicate selection only that I used. I have it also map to hotkey and put it over the mirror. And we have to set offset for that operation also, offset set, and this is the original, the whole length. And now we can add some clones. Why there is okay. Yes, it's going to look something now. So what we like to do now, maybe add some materials, make this look a bit nicer. One annoying thing is this black border. I hope they get this bug fixed soon. I used the beta. Hope it's fixed in a release. So how to get out of this? We go to default mode, press 0, and again, and advanced. Okay, it's away. But if I go to the other back to the other scene, it's it gets back there. So let's make some environment here and take some presets. This is a nice nice trick, nice Greg from Pixel Fondue have a good video how to use these presets for materials and environments and other stuff. I would like to have, I think our model should have them as default, at least some. So now we have a bit nicer looking viewport, and then we can add material for this. Set material tag, and let's call it rubber, for example. Okay, and it made it. This create button is from Selection NerdKit. I think I will add the links in the description what kits I use for this. Let's make it almost black, as it black. blue. Not so black. We want to see some wireframe. Okay. It's good for now. We can add some textures later. So, where we are. Now let's make this a bit more like it should be. So I remove this central line and make, I think a 9 count is a good one. Because we have to have right number of, and then we choose 4 from here and like this, but it overlaps. Okay. If we center this selection, then it should work. I'll show it. It's here X, but I have it here also if I use it later. So how does it look? It looks it could work. So let's check. There's one way to check if a mesh is like solid is to use select boundary. It's also in select. Here select and boundary. I think it's that. I don't know. There's a boundary and boundary, and they are almost same, but do a bit different thing, and I always mix up which is which. But this is a good way, as we see. It's all parts are different parts now, and problem with here is that we can't actually use these. Oh, we can. That's strange, because when I did this before, it didn't work. These can be sometimes a bit difficult. These merge vertex operators in these clone and mirror stuff, because they don't merge all the words, they merge only the border words and stuff like that. But at the moment this seems to work, so we don't have any open edges here in the inside of this mesh, of this clone mesh. So now what we do is that we bend this whole strip. So we add a new mesh item. Let's call it tire bend, and add a stack. We have stack for it, and merge mesh operation, and you can do this all from here, but it's slower. So I add this here, and then we add the bend effector. Okay. This annoying, this fiddling with the nodes. And let's look how it goes if we set I first make it 360, so we sit in it that way, and we turn it 90 degree. Yes, it's now it's right side up. And what we need now is the length of this mesh, so we get the length of the bend right. So it's this let's make it done. It's 1.5 kilometers. It's a bit too much. So there's a setting in this new version that like if I put 25 here, it's 25 meters. If I put 1, it's 1. If I put 0, then it goes to millimeters. Before it was like if you have units, it's use always your default units. So you have millimeters in default. It always writes millimeters. Now it keeps. It's a setting in the preference. You can change it. I like it this way better, but it's just you have to remember that it gets a bit time to get used to it. So I added this length. You can do it here also. That channel to schematic here is that. And we get the length of this part. So we use mesh info. We have it actually here. We can duplicate it. That's a bit annoying also. So this getting Modorant as usual. So it expands all the channels I have hidden. It shows them back, brings them back to channels when I duplicate the node. Not the thing I like. So let's continue. Size, and this is a set. We have it here. Okay, as we see, it works, but it doesn't actually work fully. I think we can remove these and these for now at least. So what we have to do is first thing, this bend effector, it's in a wrong place, a small amount. It's in the center, so we have to move it back as the amount of the copy, or is it the half of the amount? Let's add the position Z channel for it there, and let's grab the, I think we can take this channel, okay, but it goes to the wrong way, so we make it negative, and yes, it's in the right place. But there's a little trick by Stephen Hill that we can add. Instead of we use this this multiply, we can add, no, I did wrong. We can add another, like mat multiply. It's this, for example, and we can take it out of, I separate it, so we can channel separate. It's this, but also for this I have this hotkey. These hotkeys are middle mouse. I have shared them in Camroad. Is Camroad kit called middle mouse buttons schematic VF. You can download it there for free. And the other stuff I'm planning to, like this, share later, but it takes some time. So we have this mat node, mat multiply, which works like teleport, which is nice, so you don't have those long lines going around your schematic. And we can remain this. Why doesn't it? It's a bit hard to hit. Let's make it the offset, but it's divided by 2, offset diff 2. So now we had that, and but it doesn't work yet. It's because this, as it turns 360 degrees, this bend, there's this end and the start or end, they match, but it has to turn a bit more. So if we look at here and we add 368, 369, so it's getting closer. Yes, we get it closer, but then if we change the number of clones from here, it doesn't work anymore, as the gap size changes. So we can calculate it. I'll show you an image. So we can calculate it from here. It's like A is this total length of this part, and B is the count times offset. So it's how many times this part is duplicate and what is the offset. But because they overlap, they don't match. So it's a bit longer, this other one, and that is a relation to this angle X is same as 360. So AB times tuk. So this is the actual form we have to put there. So we have to divide A by B and multiply it 360, and maybe it works. So let's make some room here. So first we first things first. So I think I'll take this offset. Yes, I read it like this, so I can. It's only the offset now, and I'll add here the divide by 2. Okay, it's working now, and then we have to take the count. We can take it clone. We need to expose the channel in schematic. It's now here, and actually we can separate this so we have it here, so we don't have to use that mat node, because we are not going to input it, at least for now. So let's look at here what we say. B is count times offset. So let's add here. Let's take that off, and this, and times. So we should have B here, and A, it's total length of that thing, so it's this, and we divide it by this. It gets off because length, but now I'm inputting it in the wrong place. Sorry, I'll have to output angle here and this, and the length is the same as it was, and this is this stuff, AB times 316. So now if we multiply this by 316, it should work, and it looks like it does, but let's see, hide everything else. So boundary mesh, I don't know, it's maybe overlapping. Let's add a merge with vertex here, vertex merge. Okay, and let's look again what our boundary selection says. This is strange because okay, why doesn't it? What's happening here? That's a bit strange. It should copy this. I think I'll have problem here because clone replace source. No, that's not good. Mirror replace clone. Because if we look at this, it looks like it works. So instead of, I'll fix it later. Instead I continue than fixing it now. So let's make some kind of form here, so we can see how everything works. So if it's select that item, I think I'll hide this one and select this one. One trick to do is we can take this merge mesh and disable this source word transform. No, we cannot. That's strange. That should work. Or is it that? I don't know. Maybe I clicked wrong place. Oh no, it does move. Okay, I found the error, which is this here. I usually try to avoid using item scale at all because it often breaks, very often it breaks the stuff like basic tools, bevels don't work, scale, but sometimes you forget to change to polygon mode and scale things up and down, and you have this kind of mess. So now what we can do is enable and disable this, disable, and we can take this base part here and move it maybe here, and the ID of this is, I hide the strip, maybe the systems like that. So the idea of that is that you can see it when you do some modeling. So if we first we add some edges, maybe two like there, but actually I don't want that. And that's a good start. So let's see. So if I reset this, it's kind of hard to model if you don't if it's going to overlap the final mesh. So we set some clones, maybe more. So let's move it back up. No, we have to be in item mode to move it. So what should we do here? I think I'll testify, drag these up. What kind of shape it gives? Yes, I think it's okay. So let's make it smaller like this, and then take something from there like this. Okay, and it was there, wrong selection. Okay, and do we have symmetry? No. Now we have jet symmetry. Is it still symmetrical? Oh, so I have broken the symmetry, which is not nice. So let's try if it symmetrizes it to positive. Oh yes, it's still working. And then we're gonna go to here and look if we have still the mesh is working, but there's still that strange. I don't understand why doesn't it select that border there. So let's continue. Let's fix it later. So I'll add a Clatmo Clark here. Set polygon type. Oh, strange. We have missing logo. And that one is that. Okay, that's a strange one. I think I need to. Now I have a little break because I'm going to mumble and I have to get my girl from the school, daughter. So I'll continue later. Okay, so see you. I'm not back yet. I decided that I upload this one part to YouTube, and if I have time today, I will continue and upload it later today. If I don't, so then it goes later. So see you.